get the actual family of the Prophet from Ali involved with them, we get a strong unifying force. He was going to marry one of his sons to one of the daughters of the previous Imam. Something happened and something fell through. Or he was supposed to marry one himself. Whatever happened, there was a break in the Imams here between the 6th and the 7th. This 7th Imam was called Ismail. Now there was another son of Ja'far called something else. I forget what his name was. Abwaz or something. I can't remember what his name was. Now the groups that go down here to 12 Imams say that this Imam here, Ismail, is illegitimate and shouldn't have been recognized. In other words, it was a break. And they go all the way down to 12 Imams, the last of whom is called, I think, Al-Mahdi. And this is where we get the idea of the Mahdi from, the expected one. Which is sort of like the return of the Messiah in Judaism and Christianity. So you get the Mahdi, who in local parlance is known as the expected one. In any case, these 12 Imam Shiites over here are called Ja'faris. Even though that was not the name of the 12th Imam, after the break here under Ja'far. That's the name of the 6th Imam. The 7th Imam Shiites are called Ismailis, after the name of his son, who they say was the legitimate successor, and this other line here was not. Before that, there was a 5th Imam. We've got a lot of them here. His name was Zayd. We're only missing one Imam here. Forget his name. I should probably find out who he was. Anyway, Zayd, there was a break after Zayd too. And his followers said Zayd was the hidden Imam. Now look, the hidden Imam is an idea that develops out of all this. It's and they're called Zaydis. So you have Zaydis, Ismailis, and Ja'faris. Later on, they give birth to other groups more laterally that we would call Druze, Baha'i, and Alawis, or Nusayris. So you see this Shiism is extremely fertile. It's extremely able to, like a biological development, when you get, what is it when a biology, something new happens, what's it called in biology, when a new creature comes, there's a...
mutation.
A mutation, now that's it. They're really capable of mutation. Yeah, evolution of course, but mutation. They can mutate into something else really good. Sunnism is much more solid, much more conservative, much more, down to earth, rock bottom. It doesn't entertain any of these ideas. But Shiism is capable of endless innovation, which is what we're seeing today. People underestimated Shiism a lot, and underestimate what's going on in Iran at the present time. Underestimate the Ayatollah Khomeini. Underestimated a lot of these things. Didn't understand how rich and varied and capable of innovation and mutation Shiism was. Thanks for giving me that word out. Without that, I wouldn't know where I was going. So this has been very, 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 very rich. But the three we know for sure occurred in terms of development are Zayd, Ja'far, then Mahdi later on, and Ismail. So those are called 5 Imam Shiites, 7 Imam Shiites, and 12 Imam Shiites. The big group that we have to deal with at the present time are 12 Imam Shiites. They're called Ja'faris. They're the ones basically in Lebanon and in Iran where the main centers, and in southern Iraq, where the main centers of this are. The other ones have gone further out. The Zaydis went down into Yemen. They still may be there. Bahrain, places like that. And Ismailis went way out into India. and as I said, now they function. Then they went to East Africa from India when the British brought them there as laborers. The young lady who teaches the other Islam course, her husband comes from Madagascar, I think, and originally from India, and he's an Ismaili. So I shouldn't give that information out, but that's that's how that would happen. But in any case, they go much further afield, but in the Middle Ages they were in Lebanon too. In the Middle Ages they were in Lebanon too, and in fact most of the killing that was going on during the Crusades, there was a whole succession of assassinations, both of Sunni leaders. Seljuk, the famous Seljuk leader, was assassinated. His name was Nizam al-Mulk. He was assassinated. Christian knights were assassinated. The assassination were being led by a person called the Old Man of the Mountain. There was a mountain in Lebanon, and there was also a mountain in Iran called the Eagle's Nest. And the legend was that he used to bring his adepts up there and feed them hashish and stuff to get them crazy, and then send them out to do these assassinations, like the suicide bombings today. And the Old Man of the Mountain, the Crusaders called him. And these were Ismailis. These were not 12ers. These were 7ers. And when the Mongols came east, they destroyed Alamut, which is the Eagle's Nest in the mountains of Iran, north of Tehran, and wiped this place out, which was a hotbed of Islamic assassination, even at that time. So, we have a whole history of this in Islam. There's nothing new today. It's just assumed different proportions. To me, bin Laden is a combination of the Ismailis and the Harajis. I don't see any difference at all in what's going on today as what went on 1,000 or 1,500 years ago. And so there's a long history of this, but the Ismailis were known as the assassins. Now they own country clubs in the Riviera because the East African emigres got so rich they gave the money to their leader, who was at that point called the Aga Khan, who married in the old days in America. That was very famous because he married Rita Hayworth, the biggest Hollywood star of the World War II period, and everyone knew who she was, and so on. And his son was, he was going to marry Ali Khan, and he was a race car driver and stuff like that, and finally killed himself. He took a, drive into a tree someplace, but his race cars, horses, so nothing to do with the assassins of the old days. So I want to tell you a little more about how the assassins and the Seveners were the Fatimids. They became the Fatimids. They came to Egypt, and then when the Caliph died there at one point, called Al-Hakim, his descendants or his propagandists started making propaganda in the Lebanese mountains, and his propagandist was called Al-Darazi. And Al-Darazi is the name we get the Druze from. And the Druze in the Lebanese Syrian mountains are the descendants of the Fatimids in Egypt, who say that the last Fatimid caliph in Egypt was the hidden imam, and that they're making propaganda in Lebanon and Syria for the return of this caliph, and that's where we get the modern Druze from. So next time, make me start with the hidden imam, okay? I want to tell you about the hidden imam. And then we'll do a little pre-Islamic poetry and Islamic law and stuff like that. What can you read about this? I have no book that gives it all in any way serious manner. Keep reading Bernard Lewis. That's about the best I can do for you.